Hello and welcome to another episode of the Classical Republican. And today we're talking about what's going on in Israel. So, in case you haven't heard, in Israel there's a whole bunch of protests and you have union striking. And what's going on is that they don't want the leader, Benjamin Netanyahu, to be able to put through these proposals that are going to change the government. And the reason why I am making some commentary on this is because his Netanyahu's arguments are draped in classical republicanism, but falsely so. Because he's saying that he's trying to rebalance the Constitution, and that the different branches of government are no longer, they've come out of balance, and he's trying to balance them. So let's talk about the proposals, and then I will give you I'll give you some real classical Republican arguments here. So the first one is he wants to change the legislative override of a Supreme Court decision by just simple majority. So just a simple majority of the Knesset, the legislature in Israel, would be able to overturn anything by the Supreme Court. So yeah, I think you have to have a pretty strong majority, and because their Supreme Court doesn't really get that political, and so it's good to preserve that non-political aspect of one of the branches of government that's not really supposed to be political. The legislature can be political, that's fine, but they're making a power grab here. Now, the next one was the Supreme Court would no longer rule on the reasonability of a government decision. And that might sound kind of weird especially to Americans, because they, a lot of other Supreme Courts will be able to step in. I know the Irish, in the Irish Constitution, the Supreme Court can step in and make they can get to the constitutionality of a law even before it's passed. So I think that's a good idea, but we don't do that here in America. And the Supreme Court in Israel can make a reasonability call. So what happened was Netanyahu tried to appoint a minister who had a criminal background, and the Supreme Court said, no, that's not a good idea. That's unreasonable. And so he's trying to reform the government, so or I should say the Supreme Court, so it doesn't have that ability. The next one is judges would be appointed by the government rather than a body of legal experts. So they have this in other countries, like I know France. They have this where you have these bodies of legal experts, and they're not partisan, and there are checks in place to make sure that they're really not that partisan. Although, to some extent, everyone is partisan, but they really try to make it so that people are not representing any faction here. And so, if the judges are not appointed by these legal experts, then that means that the government, meaning the party or the coalition that's in power, would be able to appoint their people, their cronies or whatever. So that would be weakening. That would be strengthening the partisanship and strengthening the power of parties within Israel. Let's go on to the last one. Ministers would appoint their own legal advisors, and it would take away the authority of these advisors to make binding decisions. So I don't know about that one. It's very different from the way we operate in the U.S. We have lawyers who are supposed to pick sides, and Although if this is something comparable to, say, the Department of Justice, that's staffed with lawyers who really aren't supposed to pick sides. Um, and so these would be people who would be appointed um, uh, by um, by ministers. Pretty much think of members of Congress. It'd be like that. Okay, so yeah, as I said earlier, the Benjamin Netanyahu draped his arguments in classical republicanism, but it's not accurate because and I think we're seeing a real classical republicanism playing out in actuality on the streets, and so you see real checks and balances where the people are pushing back against a what is really a power grab by Netanyahu and his party and his coalition. So I just wanted to put that out there so we can set the record straight. He can do all these things, and there might be people. I have friends who think that he's doing the right thing. Netanyahu can't do anything wrong, and so if he wants more power, he should have more power. But he cannot drape this in the arguments of classical republicanism. It's just not so. So until next time, long live the Republic.